Now, guys, let me bring up one of my heroes out there, the John of Damascus, the polemicist of his lifetime. Guys, this awesome warrior, this warrior of his time, from the 8th century, late 7th century, 8th century, John of Damascus, John Damascene, right? And in Arabic, we call him Yohanna. Do you hear it? Yohanna, John. Yohanna al-Dimashqi. Yohanna al-Dimashqi. John of Damascus. John Damascene. For me, guys, this is one of my champions. He was a true champion of his lifetime. Have you heard of him, guys? John of Damascus? How many people know about him? Guys, it's okay if you never heard of him, but I'm going to teach you what he used to say about Islam, what he used to do, how he used to debate Muslims. And he actually showed the world that Islam is nothing but comedy. This guy that you see here, guys, in front of you, he proved that Islam is nothing but comedy. And Muslims, because of him, guys, they started to feel the heat, and they had to come with all kind of tafasir. Guys, have you ever asked yourself, why are there tafasir? Guys, tafasir that came hundreds and hundreds of years later after the death of Muhammad. The tafsirs are created to defend Islam, to defend the Quran. Why? Because of people like John of Damascus. John of Damascus, guys, he gave us an awesome lesson. He taught us how to use polemics. Why? Why, guys? Because apologetics will not work in the beginning. I'm not telling you guys, maybe some people, because you're hearing me talking about apologetics, I'm not telling you to not use apologetics. Please don't force words in my mouth. I am a hardcore polemicist. I'm a hardcore polemicist. Yes, you can use apologetics with Muslims, but that's the second step. Why? Because Muslims are a different kind of breed, literally. Because the moment more Muslims are born in their Islamic families, they learn from their parents, their imams, in the madrasas, in their Islamic schools. We call that madrasas. They teach them to build a concrete wall around themselves, right? So to take down that wall that they've created, the only weapon that will happen in the beginning to plant a seed, it's polemics. Use offense, polemics. Second step, if you are noticing that you planted a seed and you are sensing that the Muslim is starting to doubt Islam, go ahead with the apologetics. Use apologetics. But apologetics is the second step after polemics. Guys, and I'm talking from experience. I've learned from the best. And this is why I call John of Damascus the polemicist, the champion of his lifetime. So guys, let me talk about John Damascene, John of Damascus, and as we call him in the Arabic, Yohanna al-Dimashqi. Let me talk about him because I really feel it's necessary to talk about such people, for everybody to learn why his work was really important and why we should learn from such people. Guys, and I want you to be really focused because his story is very, very, very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Maybe you want to take notes. Let me tell you something about John of Damascus. John of Damascus, brothers and sisters, John of Damascus, as I said, is one of my favorite polemicists of his time. He used to debate Islam. He used to expose Islam in the 8th century, and he used the Quran in defense of Christianity. Imagine. And he turned the argument against the black stone kissers in the 8th century and accusing these Muslims of being mutilators of the Godhead. Mutilators of the Godhead. John of Damascus, John Damascene, Yohanna Dimashqi, that you see here, this painting about him. He said, and I quote, regarding verse that we find verse 171 in Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4. So chapter 4, 171. Chapter 4, 171. Let me open Skype. Okay, I forgot to open Skype. You see, guys, I forgot to open Skype. But it's okay. Maybe there is a Muslim who can call us. It's never too late to open Skype. Right, guys? Thank you, David. David sent me a message. Rob, Christian, you're doing an amazing job. A great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please, guys, don't thank me. We are here only to serve the truth and for the glory of Christ so that many Muslims will be saved. I'm here to serve you guys. I'm your humble servant. Please. But I'm happy that many people are learning. They are learning and they are here to listen to what we have to say. Please share our work. If you go to my About page, guys, on my YouTube channel, if you go to my About page, you will see that I gave you full permission to download my videos, re-upload them, maybe create short clips, whatever you like to do with my videos. As long you keep my videos for free, and if it's not too much ask, put my credentials, put my YouTube channel in the description box, and maybe if it's also not too much ask, in a pinned comment, right? So that people know who the owner of the video is. All right, guys? Only if you can. If not, it's not too much asked. Okay. So my Skype is open. If there are Muslims, let them call me. Let me pin up my own comment. All right. If there are Muslims, please call us. Open mic for Muslims and Muslims alone. Christians, please don't call me. Please, guys. I know sometimes it's hard. You know, rules can be harsh. But if you are a Christian, please don't call me. If you only Muslims. All right. So we have an awesome live stream ahead of us, guys. I have many hours to share with you, so don't worry. Don't go anywhere. Hopefully, if the Lord wills, Lord willing, Deus vult, this could be actually like a documentary. It's going to be more awesome, if the Lord wills, than any Netflix show, any TV show. Because here we love to talk about the truth. If you want to waste your time with video games or Amazon Prime, what do kids watch these days? I don't know all these names of these streaming apps. But anyway, we are here to learn, guys. We are here to share knowledge with one another. So let us talk about John of Damascus. Regarding chapter 4, let me type it out. Maybe you want to take notes. Chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa, the women. Ayah what? Ayah 171. John of Damascus debated the Muslims about it. This very awesome champion of his lifetime, John of Damascus. And he said, and I quote, regarding chapter 4, ayah 171. He said, as long you Muslims say that Christ is the word of Allah, kalimat Allah, and ruh Allah, his spirit, why do you accuse us Christians of being associators, i.e. mushrikeen? John of Damascus said. And he continued, for the word, al-kalima, kalimat Allah, and ruh Allah, the spirit of Allah, of God, is inseparable from that in which it naturally has existence. Again, for the word, John of Damascus said, for the word, al-kalima, and the ruh, the spirit, is inseparable from that in which it naturally has existence. Therefore, he said, if kalimat Allah, the word of Allah, the word of God, is in God, then it's obvious that Jesus himself is God. Glory to his name. That's what John of Damascus said. And he continued, if, however, he is outside of God, then according to you Muslims, God is without kalima, without any word, and without any spirit. John of Damascus, guys, here meant, then your Allah, O Muslims, is nothing but a dead rock, a stone idol that is dead without any spirit. And actually, guys, if you want to take notes, that's what Islam teaches. Allah is not a spirit, meaning Allah is a stone, a rock, a dead idol. Samad. Remember Samad, guys? Samad, one of the tafasir for the word Samad, Allah Samad. In Surah Al-Ikhlas, Ayah 2, Allah is a stone idol. a stone, literally a rock. So these are the words of John of Damascus. Imagine, guys. He was not scared. He was a hardcore polemicist. And I love him. He's one of my heroes, to be honest with you. And I learned a lot from him. And guys, John of Damascus that you see here continued saying, consequentially, by avoiding the introduction of an associate with God, you have mutilated him. You have mutilated God. Literally, you have cut off his limbs, you Muslims, because you say Allah cannot, Allah is not, Allah is outside of creation, meaning you Muslims have limited Allah. Your God is limited. Allah is the God of cannot, because he's nothing but a dead idol, a stone, a rock. And he said, and I quote, John of Damascus said, it would be far better for you Muslims to say that he has an associate than to mutilate him, as if you were dealing with a stone or a piece of wood or some other inanimate object. That's what John of Damascus said to the Muslims. And after hearing this, guys, the Muslims started to feel the heat, and they had to do something about it. Guys, watch what happened. And he continues saying, thus, you Muslims speak untruly when you call us Christians associators, right? Mushrikeen, associators. We Christians respond, John of Damascus said to the Muslims, by calling you Muslims mutilators of God. Wow! Wow!
Emotional, damn it!
Guys, if John of Damascus had sound effects like these, he would have played this sound effect. Beautiful, right, guys? Isn't it beautiful what John of Damascus was doing to the Muslims? By using their own argument against them, hardcore polemicist. Your Allah is a God of cannot. He cannot. He's a dead idol, right? You literally cut off the hands and feet of Allah from underneath him, especially his limbs, his legs. I remember Muslims teach us that Allah has a leg. I mean, if Allah has only a leg and you Muslims cut off his leg, that means Allah will look funny, man. Allah would have no stability. He's a stone idol. So guys, this was far more useful than any mere refutation of an anti-Christian claims drawing from biblical texts or appeals to classical philosophy. John himself, brothers and sisters, based his arguments on Quranic thought and turned the argument of Muslims on itself. Christians then started to refute Islam by using John's refutation. So Muslims, guys, as I said earlier, Muslims started to feel the heat and tried to do tarqiyah. So they had to do something about what John said about Islam. Literally, John said, you Muslims, your God is funny. Your God is a mutilated God. Islam is nothing but comedy. That's basically, in a nutshell, what John of Damascus said to the Muslims about their false cult. So the Muslims tried to fix the problem, and the Muslims went to their caliph of that time. That caliph was called Caliph al-Mamun. Let me put his name in the live chat. Guys, this is really very interesting information, and I hope, guys, I hope you will take notes, because this is really beautiful stuff. And you see how early Muslims started to do tarqiyah, right? Mental gymnastics. It started very early, right, guys? And that's how tafasir and all of these hadith came to existence to defend Islam, right? Because of people like John of Damascus. So guys, don't think low about John of Damascus, please. He is a true champion. So the Muslims went to their caliph al-Ma'mun, and they said to their caliph, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, right? That's what they call a caliph. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, O Prince of the Ummah, literally. Ya Caliph al-Mu'mineen, O Caliph al-Ma'mun. They told him, the Christians like John of Damascus, that you see here, guys, pushed us in a corner. We need to answer them and find a solution for this disaster. He literally showed everybody that Allah is a mutilated false idol. So we need to defend Islam from John of Damascus and others like John of Damascus. So Caliph al-Ma'mun, guys, ordered the scholars of Islam to be gathered and asked them, is there a prophetic hadith from Muhammad or an ayah in the Quran which says the word of Allah is created? That's the question, guys. That's the question, the main question that that was basically that came up because of John of Damascus. Guys, do you understand what is going on here? Guys, this is one of the main doctrines, right? So John of Damascus literally destroyed one of the main doctrines. Is the word of Allah created or uncreated? Let's see. Hello? Donkey, the same Dutch guy, Islam defender, and his fanboys or his boyfriend's ultimate donkey. Yeah, guys. Last time, some people thought that I'm not blocking them. I'm literally blocking them, and they keep creating new accounts. So, guys, don't allow them to distract you. Let us continue, because they know what we are teaching is very damaging. So, guys, the question was, and that's what the Caliph asked the scholars of Islam in the 8th century. Can you find any hadith from the mouth of our Prophet? Or can we find any ayah in the Quran that says that the word of Allah is created? Any scholar, any imam? Caliph al-Ma'mun asked. Anyone? The scholars answered, no, there isn't. The scholars, guys, let me type it out. The scholars said to their Caliph, no, there is no hadith from the mouth of our Prophet. There is no ayah in the Quran that says that the Quran is created. So among themselves, guys, you will see from now how they started to debate one another. Guys, are you enjoying what we are teaching, guys? Are you benefiting from this story? Are you benefiting? I hope you will do something with it. You will benefit from this, because, guys, this is the beginning of Islam. The caliphs started to feel the heat, so they gathered all of their giant scholars of their time to do something about John's polemics. Always? That's great, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, guys, because I've put a lot of hours and hours to gather all this information and to share it with you. What the early scholars of Islam, how they tried to defend the idea. Is the Quran created or uncreated? Right? The Caliph, guys, Caliph al-Ma'mun of his lifetime, he also asked them, is there a hadith from our Prophet Muhammad or a verse in the Quran that says Ruh Allah is created? 13 above, appreciated. God bless you for your kind words. We're here to serve, guys. Please. I'm nothing but your humble servant. Please, guys, don't give me too much honor, guys. I don't deserve it. I'm a sinner. Please. I'm nothing but your humble servant. Please, guys. Please. All right. So, John of Damascus created a huge disaster, a huge
emotional damage
for the Muslim scholars and the Caliph of his time. Is Ruh Allah created? That was the second question. So two main topics. Is Kalimat Allah created? Is the word of Allah created? And is Ruh Allah created? They answered, so the scholar answered, no, ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, no, O Caliph. Nowhere in the Hadith or Quran does it say, nowhere in the Hadith from the mouth of a prophet or any verse from the Quran, it says that Ruh Allah is created. So the scholars among themselves said, what should we do now? What should we do now? We have a problem. How can we answer Christians like John of Damascus? What are we going to do now? They thought among themselves. So the Caliph ordered them to go and say to the Christians, the word of Allah, Kalimat Allah, and Ruh of Allah are created. Imagine, guys, that's what the Caliph said to the scholars. Go tell them, guys, look, the early Caliph ordered his own scholars, his imams, the giant scholars of that time, to say to the Christians, to people like John of Damascus, the word of Allah, Kalimat Allah, and Ruh Allah are created. Imagine. Right? We know what the Spirit of God is. It's God Himself. God is alive. He is Spirit. But in Islam, Allah is not a spirit. Everything is created. If the word of Allah is created and the Spirit of Allah is created, what does that mean? What does that say about Allah? What does it say about Allah, ya Muslimun?
Emotional, damn it!
Guys, and if you have studied Islam, basic Islam, let's see if this is another troll, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Are you going to flush the toilet, my friend? Flush the toilet on the face of Muhammad. Yeah. Demonized Muslims. You see, guys, the demons are manifesting, right? You know why? Because they know every live stream of RobChristain is pure.
Emotional, damn it!
Exactly, brother. Yeah, baby, yeah. So, guys, imagine the caliph ordered his imams, his scholars, to go and spread the word. The word of Allah, kalimat Allah, and ruh Allah, the Spirit of Allah, are created. Right? That created a huge disaster. All of the scholars disagreed. So, guys, what's going on? The scholars sense that there's a problem. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, O Caliph, we are not agreeing with what you are telling us to do. And they did not accept what he said, except two scholars. Two scholars, guys. There was a guy called Ibn Dirham and Jahm ibn Safwan. They agreed with the Caliph, but the rest of them, they did not accept the idea. How can the word of Allah be created? That's a problem. And guys, that's in the beginning, the Mutazzilites. That's what I wanted to talk about. There was a huge group in early Islam called the Mutazzilites, who believed that the Quran, for example, or the word of Allah are created. Else you have shirk, right? You have Allah supposedly, and you have His word. If Allah is uncreated and the word is uncreated, that means we have shirk. We have two things that are eternal. That doesn't make sense to them. So, guys, either way, if you say that the word is uncreated, that means the word, and since Jesus in the Quran in chapter 4, ayah 171, He is kalimat Allah, He's ruh Allah, that means Jesus in Islam is eternal, equally divine with Allah. We have two divine beings. And if you're going to say that kalimat Allah, the word of Allah, is created, then you have a problem too. So either way, guys, they had no answer. They contradicted one another. They disagreed. And guys, we're talking about the early Muslims here who debated one another. And what happens next, guys, is very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Guys, so two scholars, Ibn Dirham and Jahm bin Safwan, they agreed with the Caliph al-Mamun, and they said, yes, Ruh Allah, Kalimat Allah are created. Then you had a famous guy, and guys, I hope it will ring a bell. I love to use his books. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal himself. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal himself. Remember that name, guys? Does it ring a bell? The Imam, the founder of one of the four Sunni schools, the Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, who basically is the founder of the Hanbali Sunni school, Sunni madhab, right? Yes, called, and they still don't have an answer because they are disagreeing with one another, right? The scholars had a conflict with one another. And we're talking about early scholars. These are considered to be the giant scholars, right? The early scholars who disagreed. Some of them said, no, the Kalimat Allah, Ruh Allah are created. Others said, no, they cannot be created. Hello? You see, guys, they don't, you know what, guys? If there's a Muslim who wants to call me, admins, I'm going to close Skype. You see? I'm going to close Skype because if every second they're going to call in, then there is no point. Because they're here, guys, they have a mission. They want to distract us, right? So admins, if there's a guy who truly wants to debate me, right? First, let's see if he's a troll or not. So I will leave that to the admins. Guys, in the live chat, don't allow yourselves to be distracted. We have admins for that. Admins, take care of that. If there's a Muslim who truly wants to debate, that's a different story. Maybe we'll open Skype. So you see, Muslims, you are forcing me not to pick up your phones because of kids, your brothers and sisters who are acting like children, bunch of trolls who cannot behave. And that's why I always say, guys, truly, I tell you, there are no real men left in Islam. We have only kids. And how can kids debate me? How can kids refute me? I mean, if Muhammad would have been alive today, he would be really, really embarrassed of Muslims of today. Because there are no real men left. Truly, there are no real men left.
Emotional damage.
I mean, yeah, baby. They are really emotionally embarrassed, emotionally damaged. They cannot refute what we have to say. So if we continue, guys, Ahmad ibn Hanbal himself called those scholars out, and he called Khalif al-Mamun. He called them out, and he said, you are, literally, guys, let me type it out. He said, you scholars, you claim to be scholars, you Caliph, you claim to be a Muslim, you are all kuffar. He literally called them kuffar, guys. You are disbelievers for saying that kalimat Allah and ruh Allah are created. Damaging. So Muslims were in a huge conflict. Why? Because of John of Damascus. Now, do you understand why I consider him to be the champion and one of my heroes? You see, guys? You see the problem? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Guys, is this good or what? Be honest. Is this good or what? And we need to talk about this because many Muslims, even Muslims don't know what happened in early Islam. But this is truly what happened, right? After the death of Muhammad. You are a bunch of kuffar, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal said to the scholars who agreed with the Caliph. He said, and I continue, Imam Ahmad said, Allah's word, kalimat Allah, is not created. And Ahmad ibn Hanbal claimed that the Quran does not say that Allah's word is created. So they captured Ahmad ibn Hanbal, guys. Literally, Caliph al-Mamun ordered Ahmad ibn Hanbal to be caught and thrown in jail. And he was even tortured for 20 years. Who was tortured for 20 years, guys? Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal from the Hanbali school. Imagine, they captured him for calling them out and calling them disbelievers. You are a bunch of disbelievers for saying that kalimat Allah is created. And guys, the Mu'tazilites were even killed for saying that kalimat Allah and ruh Allah are created, especially about kalimat Allah. Right? They were hunted down by much later Muslims, and they even killed them. Right? Imagine killing each other, early Muslims killing each other for only a conflict. But this is not only a conflict, this is a huge problem, as you see. A huge disaster that they had to solve. Why? Because of people like John of Damascus, right? John of Damascus really created a huge problem with his polemics. Now, do you understand why polemics is so damaging? Right? It will give Muslim scholars headaches. All right. So Ahmad ibn Hanbal was thrown in jail and tortured for 2 decades for 20 years because of Caliph al-Mamun, who believed that the word of Allah was created. So the next caliph, guys, who came into power, who succeeded Caliph al-Mamun, so the second caliph after al-Mamun, who followed him, said, no, we have to take that claim back. We have to retract that, because he agreed with Ahmad ibn Hanbal that the word of Allah is uncreated. So the next caliph, guys, took he took Ahmad ibn Hanbal after 2 decades, after being tortured. He took him out of jail, and he agreed that the word of Allah is uncreated. So they literally changed their minds. I mean, this is a huge doctrine in Islam. This is Aqidah. How can you change your mind about such an important Aqidah? You see, guys, scholars in Islam never agree on anything. They don't agree on anything. In the end, they will fight each other. They will murder each other. They will torture each other because Islam is nothing but a man-made cult. Of course, you're not going to agree. Imagine, guys, if the disciples of Christ, Peter, John, Matthew, and their students, right? Their students would go at each other's throats. What would have the Muslims said? Or what about our church fathers going at each other's throats? What would the Muslims say about Christianity? But that's what literally happened. They killed each other. Muslims killed each other. They killed the Mu'tazilites for claiming that Allah's word is created. They literally butchered them. And that next caliph, guys, the caliph after al-Mamun, he was responsible for that. And others that came after him too. So as you see, Muslim scholars among themselves started to debate, is kalimat Allah, is the word of Allah created or uncreated? We have a problem to solve. Houston, we have a problem. Beautiful, beautiful. So guys, the early Muslims tried to fix this disaster that people like John of Damascus created for them and came with the conclusion that the word of Allah must be uncreated, not realizing that John of Damascus just set a huge trap for them. By this claim, Muslims just created another disaster, confirming that the Jesus in the Quran, that Islamic version of Jesus in the Quran, is the uncreated kalima, right? By saying that the kalima is uncreated, they literally confirmed what we have always said, what people like John of Damascus has always said. That means Jesus is, in Islam, he is the uncreated word of Allah, that Allah in chapter 4, ayah 171, alqaha, meaning he literally cast it down on Maryam, the Islamic Mary. Guys, are you taking notes? This is very important. They literally confirmed that Jesus in Islam is the uncreated kalima, i.e. the uncreated word of God. By saying that, they showed everybody, they confirmed that Jesus must be Allah then, or at least equally divine with Allah. Are you getting it, guys? Are you taking notes? I hope you are. And please use this in your debates. Chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa, ayah 171, is a huge disaster if you actually investigate it. Because the Quran in chapter 4, ayah 171 says, Jesus is kalimat Allah, he's the word of Allah that Allah cast down. Cast down from where? From where he is, according to Islam. That's outside of creation. So Jesus, guys, was always there with Allah outside of creation. What does that make him? Allah then cast him down as his word on Maryam from above. Guys, are you catching what is going on? How important this is? It's very important. This is the beginning of Islam, basically, after the death of Muhammad. Muhammad did not explain it. The scholars needed to scratch their head, and they started to feel the heat because of people like John of Damascus. Nuclear explosion, exactly in Adrian Deco. You see, Adrian Deco already is seeing that this is a disaster. It's a nuclear explosion.
Emotional, damn it!
A disaster when they said that kalimat Allah is uncreated. This incident, guys, is famous and well-documented fact, which we can find in the Islamic books written by people such as Abu Zahra. As you see, some Muslims try to say that the word of Allah is created like the Mu'tazilite, but they kill them for it. They hunt them down and they butcher them. The Mu'tazilite. Look it up, guys. The Mu'tazilites. So these people got killed by early Muslims, and they were Muslims, right? Imagine Muslims killing Muslims just to oppose the Christian refutation of John of Damascus, who used hardcore polemics against Islam, turning the argument of Islam and the Quran and Muhammad against Muhammad and his false cult, which is Islam. Now Muslims still today say that the word of Allah is uncreated, yet they put themselves in a horrible, difficult position because the word of Allah, if it is uncreated, that automatically means that Jesus is uncreated in Islam, right? Jesus is uncreated in Islam, making him equally divine with Allah, right, guys? Bam!
Emotional damage.
Wow. Now, do you see why I love to use the teaching of John of Damascus? And I always try to implement his teaching on my live streams. Do you understand why polemics is so important as the first step? And when you plant a seed with a Muslim in your debates, you are sensing, I just planted a seed and I took down that brick wall that the Muslims built around themselves. Then start with step number 2. Step number 2 is apologetics. Learn from the best. John of Damascus is, for me, one of the best. One of the early champions of Christianity regarding destroying Islam by using their own arguments against them. Yeah, guys, we have some wonderful news for the people who do not know. Like 6 or 7 days ago, we had a brother, again, Ewa, thank you for mentioning it. Brother Anouk, I had a beautiful conversation with him in my last live stream. So if you want to go watch it, beautiful long conversation. And Anouk decided to leave Islam on my live stream. And we have also 2 converts from Islam, also on TikTok. So guys, within 1 week, within a week, we have 3 apostates. What about the rest of the Muslims who are watching our videos and live streams, both on TikTok, both on YouTube? What about them who do not dare to come out and say, Rob, we left Islam? Many, guys, you have no idea how many people watch our videos. Our videos are reaching all the corners of the planet, guys. I receive even messages from New Zealand, man. New Zealand, South Africa, all the corners of the world. And guys, I'm not here to brag. God forbid, please, Lord. But we are here to tell you how important it is for everybody to share our videos. Our videos, download them, share them all over social media. Take short clips, guys. If you think, hey, this part, I feel necessary to download it and clip it and re-upload it on my channel, on your own channel, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. So that many Muslims will see and maybe they will believe that Islam is the false cult of Satan. Muhammad is a fake prophet. Right? Stop staying in the matrix. Take the blue pill, bro. Take the blue pill. Stop staying in the matrix, in the dream world, which is nothing but a nightmare called Islam. Right? John of Damascus. Guys, in a nutshell, it was a long nutshell, but that's what John of Damascus started in the 8th century. He caused a huge hurricane. This John of Damascus in front of you. A huge hurricane, a tsunami, and it forced Islamic scholars, early Islamic scholars, to fight one another, to even torture one another for it. Is kalimat Allah created? Is it uncreated? Allahu alam, ma adri. Muhammad failed to say it. The Quran doesn't explain. Muhammad from his mouth in the hadith did not say it. So we have to fight one another about it. We have to debate one another. And we have to even torture and kill one another for it. Yeah, stop taking the blue pill, take the red pill. Stop taking the blue pill, take the red pill. All right. And here's more. Guys, this is why I call today's live stream Theological Disasters in the Quran in Islam. Right? And if there's a Muslim who wants to debate, not trolls, please highlight my name and I would love to debate you. Please tell us why Islam is the truth. Why do you think in 2002 that Muhammad is a true prophet? I want to learn from you, Muslims. Please. Help me to help you. I mean, we are here for the truth. Why are you calling in to act like a troll? Are you trying to show us that there are no real men left in Islam? This is why you're acting like a troll? Are you trying to tell us that Islam is left with only kids? Well, okay. Please show us the true face of Islam. Please continue doing that. Any Muslim? Is there any Muslim, guys? Is there any Muslim in the live chat? Is there any guest who wants to come up and debate me about Islam? Because I want to talk about a very famous ayah that you Muslims love to lie about. Chapter 65, Surah Al-Talaq, the divorce, ayah 4. And this actually, if there's a Muslim out there in 2022 who claims to be a human being with some honor and self-respect and any dignity, if you claim to be such a person, if you are a man or if you are a lady, a woman, please call me and convince me that this ayah is not from Satan, please. You claim that the Quran is from Allah and you call Allah God and you claim that you worship one God. Fine. The Satanists, guys, people who worship Satan, they also believe that Satan is one God. You're not telling us anything new, but prove that your Allah is the true God. Prove it. Because if I read the Quran and I read the Tafsir, I have to conclude that Allah is nobody else but Satan and Muhammad is the prophet of Satan. Of course Muslims worship Satan, of course. Because he claims to be the best of deceivers, exactly. Khairul Makareen, the best of deceivers. He claimed that he guides but also misguides people. He's Al-Fattan. He creates fitna, which is corruption in the land, among Muslims even. I mean, what's left? What's left? Any Muslim? Any Muslim? Any Muslim? Guys, before I... actually, let me do this. Before I take a deep dive in this ayah that you see here on the screen, let me first share something with you, guys. Let me share something with you. And this should allow you to understand how Muslim brains work. Actually, they do not work. And here is why.